The Cultural Engagement Team from the Quest to Unite Africa would like to take you on a tour of Rwanda. Please sit back and enjoy the information we have provided for you. Welcome to Rwanda, the land, the history, the culture, and the people. History and major events of Rwanda. Evidence of human settlements in Rwanda date back to the Neolithic period of around 8000 BC to 3000 BC. The people were hunter-gatherers during the Stone Age. The population began to grow during the Iron Age. Pottery and iron tools were found from that period. The original people are believed to be descendants of the Twa people, who were Aboriginal Pygmy people. Between 700 BC and 1500 AD, Bantu groups began to migrate into Rwanda and cleared the forest for agriculture. The Twa began to move to the mountain slopes. The people were divided by clans, which included the Hutu, Tutsi, and the Twa. The Hutu engaged in agriculture. The Tutsi raised livestock, and the Twa were hunters and made ceramics. Initially, Rwanda was settled by the Twa, forest-dwelling people, followed by the Hutu between the 5th and the 11th centuries. The Tutsi, from the Great Lakes region of Ethiopia, began to settle in the 14th century. In the 15th century, King Gihanga incorporated several of the close neighboring territories, establishing the Kingdom of Rwanda. The Tutsi kings centralized power after conquering others and put unifying policies in place. The Kingdom of Rwanda dominated from the mid-18th century. By 1700, 8 kingdoms had existed in present-day Rwanda. During the 19th century, the king expanded the kingdom west and north. Under his rule, his policies caused rifts between the Tutsi and the Hutu because the Tutsis were given privileged status over the Hutus. During this time, the Twa population began to decline. In 1884, the Berlin Conference assigned the territory to the German Empire, and Rwanda became a German protectorate under the German East Africa Company. In 1897, Germany formed an alliance with the king and supported the existing hierarchy. In 1899, Rwanda was incorporated into German East Africa. In 1916, Rwanda was invaded by Belgian forces during World War I. Belgium also promoted the pro-Tutsi policies. Belgium and Germany considered the Tutsi and Hutu to be different races and classes of people. Socially, the Hutu and the Tutsi have alternately been at the top of the societal hierarchy. The Twa have been fixed at the bottom and remain the poorest segment of society with no political power. The Belgians and the Germans exploited this hierarchy. In 1922, Rwanda and Burundi became Rwanda-Urundi as a League of Nations mandate and ruled by Belgium. In 1933, under Belgium, all citizens were issued identity cards defining their ethnicity. Wealthy Hutus could no longer become honorary Tutsis. In 1959, the Hutu population revolted and massacred many Tutsis. Between 1959 and 1962, there was an uprising that led to a revolution and abolished the monarchy. In 1962, the president of Rwanda led an independent Hutu-dominated republic. In 1973, the president was overthrown following a military coup, but there was still a pro-Hutu policy, and a new president came into power. In 1990, the Tutsi-led Rwandan Republic Front, or the RPF, launched a civil war. The RPF raided from Uganda. In 1991, the Constitution was revised to allow multi-party participation in government. In 1993, an agreement between the RPF and the government created a transitional government that would include the RPF. The Hutu extremists opposed this idea. In 1994, the presidents of Rwanda and Burundi were assassinated when their plane was shot down and crashed. The next day, the prime minister of Rwanda was also assassinated. This led to social tensions that finally resulted in 100 days of Rwandan genocide that ended in July of that year, following a military victory. More than 800,000 people were killed during the genocide, and over 2 million people fled into Zaire, which is present-day Democratic Republic of the Congo. Between 1996 and 2002, efforts were made to convict thousands of people who committed the acts of genocide. Rwandan military forces entered Zaire to expel Hutu extremists who had been launching attacks against Rwanda. Multiple African countries got involved in what was referred to as Africa's First World War. Foreign aid to Rwanda was suspended. In 2002, a peace agreement resulted in the withdrawal of Rwandan forces from the Congo and the disarmament and repatriation of Hutu extremist rebels in the Congo. In 2003, the first multi-party election since Rwanda's independence was held. In 2006, the Rwandan government was reorganized into 5 multi-ethnic provinces, with the intention of promoting power sharing and to reduce ethnic conflicts. Rwanda was granted significant debt relief by the World Bank and the International Monetary Fund. Rwanda severed ties to France after a French judge alleged that the Rwandan president, Kagame, and the RPF leaders ordered the 1994 assassinations. President Kagame accused the French government of arming and advising the rebels responsible for the 1994 genocide. In 2007, Rwanda joined the East African Community, which is a regional trade and development bloc. In 2010, a Rwandan government investigation into the 1994 plane crash indicated that Hutu extremist soldiers were responsible for shooting down the plane and the assassination of the 2 presidents in an attempt to derail peace negotiations with Tutsi rebels and used the incident as an excuse to initiate genocide against the Tutsi and moderate Hutu. Between 2010 and 2012, multiple UN reports accused Rwanda of human rights abuses, killing tens of thousands of Hutus, and aiding insurgents fighting in the Congo. Rwanda threatened to pull military troops serving in the UN peacekeeping missions and denied the allegations. Since 2013, Rwanda has seen vast economic growth and improvements in education and healthcare. In 2015, the Constitution was amended to allow President Kagame to serve more than 2 7-year terms. The president is now allowed to serve 2 additional 5-year terms, and the term limits for the Supreme Court officials and senators was changed. In 2019, Rwanda closed its borders to Uganda following deteriorating relations. Throughout the years, Rwanda has established various ties in the form of allies, trade partners, friends, and diplomatic relations. The following lists are a list of their trade partners, their allies, friends, and other countries they have diplomatic relationships with. Currently, relations with the United States is improving. If you find that you are interested in traveling to Kigali, Rwanda from America or various cities in Canada, here's a list of the cities that you can fly from and what it would cost you to fly from those cities to Rwanda. All prices are listed in US dollars. After spending time in Rwanda, if you decide that you would like to explore other countries in Africa, here's a list of some of the countries you may be interested in flying from Kigali, Rwanda, into other countries in Africa. Please see the list of those cities and countries. And again, all prices are listed in US dollars. Let's continue as we learn more about visas, citizenship, and currency in Rwanda. The visa requirements are as follows. The cost for a single entry tourist visa at the port of entry is $50 USD, and multiple entry is $70 USD. Credit cards are accepted at the Kigali International Airport, but please take enough cash in USD in case it is not possible to pay with a credit card. It is recommended that U.S. citizens enter Rwanda using their U.S. passport. More information is to follow under the citizenship section. U.S. passports must be valid for 6 months after the date of entry into Rwanda. 30-day, 90-day, or 10-year tourist visas can be obtained through the Rwandan Embassy in Washington, D.C. The different categories of citizenship are as follows. Categories of Rwandan nationality include nationality by origin or Rwandan nationality by acquisition. Reasons to apply for or granting Rwandan citizenship by acquisition are as follows. Birth on the territory of Rwanda, marriage, adoption, national interest. Citizenship in Rwanda can be granted by the following reasons: special skills or talent, substantial, sustainable investments or activities, residence in Rwanda, being an immigrant, statelessness, or founding. You can apply for citizenship at the head office of the Directorate General of Immigration and Immigration. At all districts immigration offices where the applicant resides, in foreign countries, the application shall be submitted at the Rwandan embassy or consulate in his or her country of residence. Processing time is approximately 6 months. To apply for Rwandan nationality by origin, the following information is needed. The person must present 3 Rwandan witnesses who are blood related and know him or her well. A birth record must be issued by the country of birth. Application letters confirming that he or she was born to a parent of Rwanda ancestry. 1 recently taken colored passport photo with a white background must be presented. A payment slip of 5,000 FRW, non-refundable, paid to Arimbo to request for payment advice ticket. A detailed CV, complete the application form, and an identity card or travel document issued by the country or of his or her nationality. Foreigners intending to apply for Rwandan nationality based on being an immigrant submits to the Directorate General the following documents: a birth certificate when available, an identity card or other document proving his nationality, a certificate that he or she has not been sentenced to imprisonment for a period of 6 months, in other words, no criminal record when he or she is in a position to get it. Recommendation is issued by the Executive Secretary of the cell, confirming his or her physical residence on the Rwandan territory of at least 25 years or being a descendant of immigrant and explaining why he or she does not hold a valid document of residence, proof of properties in the country or his or her activities or occupation, a birth certificate of his or her children under 18 years of age at the time of the application. Foreigners must also have one recently taken colored passport photo with a white background, a payment slip of 10,000 FRW or its equivalent, non-refundably paid to Irembo to request for payment advice ticket, a detailed CV, birth certificates for his or her children under 18 years of age at the time of application, payment slip of 5,000 FRW or its equivalent, non-refundable, paid to Irembo. Fill out the application form. Let's continue to learn more about Rwandan currency. The franc became the currency of Rwanda in 1916 when Belgium occupied the previously German colony in the Belgian Congo. Franc replaced the German East African rupee. Rwanda used the currency of the Belgian Congo until 1960 when the Rwanda and Burundi franc was introduced. Rwanda began issuing its own francs in 1964, 2 years after gaining independence. A proposal exists to introduce a common currency, a new East African shilling, for the 5 member states of the East African Community. While originally scheduled to occur by the end of 2012, as of March 2023, a common currency has still yet to be introduced. In 1964, coins were introduced for 1, 5, and 10 francs, with the 1 and 10 francs in cupro nickel and the 5 francs in bronze. In 1969, aluminum 1 franc coins were introduced, followed in 1970 by half and 2 francs, also in aluminum. A reduced size copper nickel 10 franc coin was issued in 1974. Brass 20 and 50 francs were introduced in 1977. New series of 1 to 50 franc coins were issued in 2004, and a new bimetallic coin of 100 francs was introduced in 2008. Banknotes. In 1964, provisional notes were created for use in Rwanda by hand stamping 20 to 100 francs or embossing 500 and 1,000 francs. Rwanda-Burundi notes bearing their original dates and signatures. These were followed by regular issues for the same amounts dated 1964 to 1976. 20 and 50 franc notes were replaced by coins in 1977. In 2008, the bank replaced the 100 franc note with a bimetallic coin and revoked the note's legal tender status on December 31st, 2009. In December 2013, the National Bank of Rwanda issued a redesigned 500 franc note. In 2014, the National Bank of Rwanda issued 2,000 and 5,000 franc notes with revised security figures and the features and the removal of French descriptions on the note. In October 2015, the National Bank of Rwanda issued a revised 1,000 franc note with improved security features and the removal of French descriptions on the notes. On the 7th of February 2019, the National Bank of Rwanda announced new 500 francs and 1,000 franc banknotes would be introduced on February the 11th, 2019. These banknotes would have new security features and better quality to reduce wear. The design of the front of the 500 franc note is entirely new, and the overall color has been changed to brown to help distinguish it from the 1,000 franc note. Please see the additional information on the coins of Rwanda. The historical exchange rates for Rwanda currency to US dollars is as follows from the years 1995 to 2020. This slide has more detailed information on the Rwandan franc. Please take your time to take a look at your leisure. The following slides show pictures of Rwanda's current currency. Hallelujah, yes, hallelujah. Please continue with us as we learn more about the demographics, religion, and government of Rwanda. Population and demographics. As of 2023, Rwanda's total population is slightly over 14 million. It is projected to grow by over 300,000 people within the next year. Rwanda has one of the world's highest birth rates. The rate of population increase is greater than the global average, but similar to the surrounding area. 3/4 of the population is rural and have a nuclear family unit that consists of a mom, dad, and the children, all living on the hillsides. Life expectancy in Rwanda is lower than the world average at around 50 years of age. 40% of the population is under 15 years old. 30% of the population is between the age of 15 and 29. The 1994 genocide had a major impact on the demographics of the country. There were 2 million refugees and several 100,000 orphans. The change also left many single-parent or child-headed households. Religion in Rwanda. As of 2012, the following percentages apply. 43.7% are Catholic, 37.7% is Protestant, 11.8% is made up of Seventh-day Adventists, 2.0% is made up of Sunni Muslims, 0.7% is made up of Jehovah's Witnesses, 2.5% claim no religious affiliation. There is also a small community of Hindus and Buddhist adherents, comprised primarily of businessmen from China and India, foreign university students, and professors. Christianity was introduced in the late 19th century by Catholic priests known as White Fathers, who followed the colonial powers. By 1920, the majority of the population had converted to Christianity. Missionaries from most Protestant denominations arrived later. The Rwandan Constitution provides for freedom of religion, and the government is generally respectful of this right in practice. Foreign missionaries are free to operate in Rwanda, but must register for a residency permit. There is an analysis that religion played a significant role in the ethnic violence that occurred in 1994. The Catholic and Protestant churches helped to make the genocide possible by giving moral sanction to the killing. In 2023, Rwanda was scored 2 out of 4 for religious freedom, though it is noted that government policies are getting stricter. Government in Rwanda. In 1978, the roles of the head of state and the head of government were combined. Between 1978 and 1995, there were many changes within the government. The new constitution in 2003 included strong language against the ideology of genocide. Also in 2003, the president could serve 2 consecutive 7-year terms, but in 2015, this was changed to allow Kagame to serve a 3rd term. In 2017, this was updated to state that after Kagame, there would only be 2 consecutive 5-year terms allowed. Rwandans must be at least 18 years old to vote. The legislature is a bicameral parliament similar to the UK. 2/3 of the parliament are directly elected. The country is divided into 4 provinces and the city of Kigali. Each province is headed by a governor. The Constitution provides for an independent judiciary based on German and Belgian civil law systems and customary law. The Supreme Court is the highest court. Rwanda also uses the traditional Gacaca legal system. In the Gacaca legal system, the courts were held outside and the heads of the household were the judges. Let's learn a little about the educational system in Rwanda. Education in Rwanda. An overview of Rwanda's education system over the years is as follows. Rwanda's education system has undergone significant transformation since the 1994 genocide. The genocide left the country devastated, with a collapsed education infrastructure and high illiteracy rates. The government recognized the need for rebuilding the education system and prioritized education as a key development sector. Primary education in Rwanda is compulsory and free for all children. The government has achieved near universal access to primary education with high enrollment rates. The primary curriculum includes subjects such as mathematics, science, social studies, languages, and physical education. Teacher training and professional development programs have been implemented to improve the quality of primary education. Early childhood development, ECD. Early childhood development is a critical phase for the child's overall development. The government of Rwanda has prioritized ECD and implemented various initiatives to promote early learning and development. ECD centers have been established across the country, providing early education, nutrition, and health services to children aged 3 to 6 years old. Secondary education in Rwanda is divided into 2 cycles: lower secondary or ordinary level and upper secondary advanced level. Students can choose between the general track or the technical vocational track. National examinations are conducted at the end of each cycle, and successful students receive certification. The government has focused on expanding secondary education opportunities, including the construction of new schools and the provision of scholarships. Quality assurance and standards. The government of Rwanda is committed to ensuring quality education. National curriculum development and review processes are in place to ensure relevant and standardized curriculum. Teacher performance evaluation and support programs have been implemented to improve teaching quality. Monitoring and evaluation systems are in place to assess the performance of education institutions and identify areas for improvement. Tertiary education. Rwanda has a growing tertiary education sector with universities, colleges, and vocational training centers. The government has emphasized the importance of science, technology, and innovation in tertiary education. Scholarships and financial support programs are available to students to increase access to higher education. Partnerships with international institutions have been established to enhance the quality and relevance of tertiary education. Education for all. Rwanda is committed to providing inclusive education for all children, regardless of their background or abilities. Efforts have been made to promote gender equality in education, resulting in a significant reduction in gender disparities. Special education programs and support services are available for students with disabilities. Education opportunities are provided for refugees and displaced populations, ensuring access to education for all. Achievements and successes. Rwanda has made significant achievements in education. Primary school enrollment rates have increased with near universal access to primary education. Gender disparities in education have been reduced with equal opportunities for boys and girls. Learning outcomes and literacy rates have improved, contributing to a more educated population. Rwanda's education system has received international recognition and established partnerships with organizations like UNESCO and the World Bank. Challenges in the future outlook. Despite the progress, Rwanda's education system still faces challenges. There is a need to improve the quality of education, particularly in rural areas. Teacher shortages and the need for continuous professional development remain ongoing challenges. The government aims to further strengthen the education system by investing in infrastructure, teacher training, and curriculum development. Future goals include enhancing technical and vocational education, promoting research and innovation, and providing students or for and preparing students for the job market. Rwanda Medical. Public healthcare facilities. Rwanda has a tiered healthcare system consisting of health posts, health centers, district hospitals, and referral hospitals. Health posts are the most basic level of healthcare facilities, providing primary healthcare services at the community level. Health centers are the next level, offering more comprehensive services, including outpatient care, maternal and child health services, and basic laboratory tests. District hospitals serve as the primary referral centers for health centers and provide more specialized services such as surgery and emergency care. Referral hospitals are the highest level of healthcare facilities, offering specialized treatments and advanced medical care. An overview of Rwanda's healthcare system and its progress over the years. After the 1994 genocide, Rwanda's healthcare system was in shambles, with most healthcare facilities destroyed and a severe shortage of healthcare professionals. The government recognized the need for rebuilding the healthcare system and prioritized healthcare as a key development sector. The Ministry of Health was established to oversee the healthcare system and implement reforms. Health insurance coverage. Mutuelle de Santé, Rwanda's health insurance scheme, was introduced in 2004. It is a community-based health insurance program that aims to provide universal health coverage to all Rwandans. The program is funded through contributions from individuals with subsidies for vulnerable populations. Mutuelle de Santé covers a wide range of healthcare services, including consultations, medications, laboratory tests, and hospitalization. The program has significantly increased healthcare access and reduced out-of-pocket expenses for Rwandans. Community health workers, or CHWs. Community health workers are trained volunteers who play a crucial role in Rwanda's healthcare system. They are selected from the local community and undergo training to provide basic healthcare services and health education. CHWs are responsible for health promotion, disease prevention, and early detection of health issues. They conduct home visits, provide health education sessions, distribute medications, and refer patients to higher level healthcare facilities when needed. CHWs have been instrumental in improving healthcare outcomes, especially in rural and remote areas where access to healthcare is limited. Technological advancements. Rwanda has embraced technology to enhance its healthcare system. Electronic medical records have been implemented in healthcare facilities to improve patient record keeping and facilitate data analysis. EMRs enable healthcare providers to access patient information easily, track health trends, and make informed decisions. Telemedicine initiatives have been introduced to provide remote healthcare consultations and specialist referrals, particularly in underserved areas. Mobile health applications have been developed to support health education, disease management, and appointment reminders. Achievements and successes. Rwanda has made significant achievements in key health indicators. Child mortality rates have declined from 191 deaths per 1,000 live births in 1990 to 50 deaths per 1,000 births in 2019. Maternal mortality rates have also decreased significantly, with a focus on improving access to skilled birth attendants and emergency obstetric care. Rwanda's healthcare system has received international recognition for its achievements, including partnerships with organizations like Partners in Health and the Clinton Health Access Initiative. Challenges and future outlook. Despite the progress, Rwanda's healthcare system still faces challenges. There is a need to address the shortage of healthcare professionals, especially in rural areas. Infrastructure, development, and equipment maintenance remain ongoing challenges. The government aims to further strengthen the healthcare system by investing in training programs, infrastructure development, and technology integration. Future goals include improving healthcare quality, expanding access to specialized care, and reducing health disparities between urban and rural areas. Agriculture. Agriculture is the main economic activity in Rwanda, with 70% of the population engaged in the sector and around 72% of the working population employed in agriculture. The period for cultivation can be divided into the first season from September to January and the second season from February to June. In the marshlands where water is abundant, there is also a third agricultural season for the cultivation of rice and vegetables. From the farm to the workers to the market. Specific crops of African origin include watermelon, coffee, cola trees, rooibos, and African oil palm. Agriculture in Rwanda has specific challenges. Among those challenges include runoff from its steep hills, which has contributed to soil loss and erosion. Intense agricultural activity has caused soil degradation. Increased populations means there are more mouths to feed, and a decline in the quantity and quality of water is putting agriculture and livelihoods at risk. Rwanda has engaged in agricultural initiatives. Rwanda has put together cooperatives or associations of people who have come together as communities to improve farming techniques. The communities are using natural resources such as trees, wood, and green manures like grass and leaves to improve and build up the soil. Implementing different trees to add to the natural landscape of the community, which also helps with soil improvement. Rwanda has implemented the Green Initiative, which has educated other communities on how to decrease soil erosion. Impoverished communities and small farms are pooling resources to offset the ravages of endemic poverty in agrarian economies. Sustainable agriculture within the community. What is the tree planting project in Rwanda? The tree planting campaign started in 2011 with Rwanda's commitment to bringing 2 million hectares of land under restoration by 2030 through the Bond Challenge. Today, 30.4% of Rwanda's surface area is covered by forest. Economy and trade in Rwanda. The economy of Rwanda has undergone rapid industrialization due to its successful governmental policy. It has a mixed economy. Since the early 2000s, Rwanda has witnessed an economic boom, which improved the standards of living for many Rwandans. The government's progressive visions have been the catalyst for the fast transforming economy. The president of Rwanda, Paul Kagame, has noted his ambition to make Rwanda the Singapore of Africa. In 2016, Rwanda was ranked 42nd and the second best country in Africa to do business in the Mora Foundation. Rwanda's minimum wage rates range from 500 to 1,000 Rwandan francs per day, which is the equivalent to 83 cents in the tea industry, and 1,500 to 5,000 francs a day, which is the equivalent of $2.50 to $8.30 in the construction industry. Rwanda's minimum wage was last changed on January the 1st 2013. The 1994 genocide destroyed Rwanda's fragile economic base, severely impoverishing the population, particularly women, and eroded the country's ability to attract private and external investment. However, Rwanda has made significant progress in stabilizing and rehabilitating its economy. In June 1998, Rwanda signed an enhanced structural adjustment facility with the International Monetary Fund. Rwanda has also embarked upon an ambitious privatization program with the World Bank. In the immediate post-war period, mid-1994 through 1995, emergency humanitarian assistance of more than $307.4 million was largely directed to relief efforts in Rwanda and in the refugee camps in neighboring countries where Rwandans fled during the war. In 1996, humanitarian relief aid began to shift to reconstruction and development assistance. The United States, Belgium, Germany, the Netherlands, France, the People's Republic of China, the World Bank, the UN Development Program, and the European Development Fund will continue to account for the substantial aid. Rehabilitation of government infrastructure, in particular the justice system, was an international priority, as well as the continued repair and expansion of infrastructure, health facilities, and schools. The country entered a high period of economic growth in 2006, and the following year managed to register 8% economic growth, a record it has sustained since, turning it into one of the fastest growing economies in Africa. This sustained economic growth has succeeded in reducing poverty and also reducing fertility rates, with growth between 2006 and 2011 reducing the percentage of the country's population living in poverty from 57% to 45%. The country's infrastructure has also grown rapidly, with connections to electricity going from 91,000 in 2006 to 215,000 in 2011. Rwanda wants to achieve middle-income country status by 2035 and high-income country status by 2050. The cost of living in Rwanda is as follows. A family of four has an estimated monthly cost of $1,565.53 without rent. A single person is estimated to live on monthly costs approximately at $443.71 without rent. The cost of living in Rwanda is on average 72% lower than in the United States. Rent prices in the United States are 364.4% higher than in Rwanda. Restaurant prices in the United States are 241.1% higher than in Rwanda. The list before you shows the cost of various products that you would buy in Rwanda. Agriculture and products produced in Rwanda as of 2019 are depicted on this list. In 2019, agriculture accounted for 29% of the economy of Rwanda. Rwanda has long relied on coffee as a cash crop. The crash of coffee prices in 1989 caused a great decrease in purchasing power and increased domestic tensions. Energy and electrification. Rwanda has made tremendous strides in improving electrification in the 21st century. A great number of new areas has become electrified through the expansion of infrastructure. Rwanda electricity access for 2021 was 48.70%, a 3.51% increase from 2020. Depletion of the forest will eventually pressure Rwandans to turn to fuel sources other than charcoal for cooking and heating. Given the abundance of mountain streams and lakes, the potential for hydroelectric power is substantial. Rwanda is exploiting these natural resources through joint hydroelectric projects with Burundi and the Democratic Republic of the Congo. The industrial sector is growing, consisting of 16% of GDP in 2012. Rwanda's manufacturing sector is dominated by the production of import substitutes for internal consumption. The larger enterprises produce beer, soft drinks, cigarettes, hose, wheelbarrows, soap, mattresses, plastic pipe, roofing materials, and bottled water. Other products manufactured include agricultural products, small-scale beverages, soap, furniture, shoes, cement, plastic goods, textiles, and cigarettes. Tourism and services. Rwanda's service sector suffered during the late 2000s recession as banks reduced lending and foreign aid projects and investment were reduced. The sector rebounded in 2010, becoming the country's largest sector by economic output and contributing 43.6% of the country's GDP. Key tertiary contributors include banking and finance, wholesale and retail trade, hotels and restaurants, transport, storage, communication, insurance, real estate, business services, and public administration, including education and health. Tourism is one of the fastest growing economic resources and became the country's leading foreign exchange earner in 2011. In spite of the genocide's legacy, the country is increasingly perceived internationally as a safe destination. The Directorate of Immigration and Immigration recorded over 400,000 people visiting the country between January and June of 2011. 16% of these arrived from outside of Africa. Revenue from tourism was over $115 million between January and June of 2011. Holidaymakers contributed 43% of this revenue, despite being only 9% of the numbers. Mining in Rwanda. Mining in Rwanda consists of extracting minerals such as tin, tantalum, and tungsten. In 2020, Rwanda earned about $733 million from mineral exports, making mining the biggest source of export revenues after tourism. In 2019, the country was the seventh largest world producer of tungsten and the 12th largest world producer of tin. Tin ore had the largest production and export volume at about 3,874 tons, valued at over $42 million in 2010. It was followed by coltan with 740 tons in 2010, valued at over $18 million, and wolfram or tungsten ore with 843 tons in 2010, valued at over $7 million, down from 874 tons in 2009. Rwanda produces about 9% of the world's tantalum used in electronics manufacturing and about 4% of global tungsten. In October 2012, Rwanda's Ministry of Natural Resources suspended mining activities in the country's western province on the basis that they were endangering the river Sabaya. The decision was met with negativity due to the affected mining company's loss of production and the loss of thousands of jobs for workers at the mine. The top 5 countries to which Rwanda exported in 2021 are as follows: Congo, with exports valued at approximately $587 million, the UAE, with products totaling a total of 437 million, Tanzania, with exports totaling $97 million, the UK, with exports totaling $45 million, and Pakistan, with exports totaling $37 million. The top 10 exports in 2022 are listed on the slide before you. The top 5 countries from which Rwanda imported goods in 2021 are as follows: China, with products totaling $716 million, Tanzania, with products totaling $496 million, the UAE, with products totaling $306 million, India, with products totaling $296 million, and Kenya, with products totaling $281 million. Rwanda imported an average of $314 million from 1998 until 2023, with an all-time high in December of 2012 and a record low in October of 2016. Roads in Rwanda. The Classified Road Network, the National and District Road Class 1, the Article 3 of Law governing roads in Rwanda classifies roads into the following categories: national roads, district roads, and specific roads. National roads are considered international roads that link Rwanda with neighboring countries, roads that link districts or that link a district and a city and the city of Kigali, roads that link areas of tourist significance and facilities of national or international importance, such as ports and airports. The Classified Road Network. Class 1. District and City of Kigali roads and that of other urban areas, Class 1, shall be roads linking different sectors, headquarters within the same district, or those roads that are used within the same sector. Class 2. Districts and City of Kigali roads and that of other urban areas. Class 2 shall be arterial roads that connect district roads to rural community centers that are inhabited as an agglomeration. Specific roads shall be those specifically constructed to connect national roads or district roads to Kigali City and other urban areas to the centers for private sector's activities such as agricultural production, natural resources processing, or to tourist sites. The ministerial order determined that classification and naming of roads falling into the two first categories, including national roads and district roads. Please review the quick facts for information needed for entry and exit into and out of Rwanda. Note for travelers regarding yellow fever. The following is the WHO list of countries with risk to the yellow fever transmission and countries requiring yellow fever vaccination. This list of countries is dynamic and can change at any time depending on the situation. Please review the list below. Note for travelers regarding yellow fever. All travelers traveling to yellow fever endemic countries should be vaccinated 10 days before traveling. To enter Rwanda, a yellow fever vaccination certificate is not required to travelers coming from yellow fever non-endemic countries and without an active transmission outbreak of yellow fever. To enter Rwanda, a yellow fever vaccination certificate is mandatory to travelers coming from yellow fever endemic countries and any country with an active yellow fever transmission outbreak. Information for travelers regarding COVID-19. Effective December 16, 2021, all passengers arriving to Rwanda must quarantine for 3 days at a designated quarantine hotel at their own cost. A COVID-19 PCR test will be taken upon arrival at the airport. A second test will be taken on day 3, and a third test will be taken on day 7. Tests will be performed at a designated testing site, and the traveler will cover the cost of the test. Here's a screenshot of the CDC's information regarding the COVID vaccination. COVID vaccines are safe and effective. The CDC recommends everyone 5 years and older to get one updated COVID-19 vaccine to protect against serious illness. Children aged 6 months to 4 years old may need more than one updated COVID vaccination to be up to date. Find additional information for a COVID vaccine or booster at vaccines.gov. Lake ports. This entry lists major ports and terminals, primarily on the basis of the amount of cargo tonnage shipped through the facilities on an annual basis. In some instances, the number of containers handled or ship visits were also considered. Most ports service multiple classes of vehicles, including bulk carriers, containers, roll-on, roll-off, and passenger ships. The listing leads off with major supports handling all types of cargo. Inland, river, lake ports are listed separately along with the river or lake name. Ports configured specifically to handle bulk cargoes are designated as all oil terminals or dry bulk cargo ports. LNG terminals handle liquefied natural gas and are differentiated as either export, where the gas is chilled to a liquid state to reduce its volume for transport on specialized gas carriers, or import, where the offloaded LNG undergoes a regasification process before entering pipelines for distribution. As break bulk cargoes are largely transported by containers today, the entry also includes a listing of major container ports with the corresponding throughout measured in 20-foot equivalent units, referring to a standard container size. Some ports are significant for handling passenger traffic and are listed as cruise or ferry ports. In addition to commercial traffic, many seaports also provide important military infrastructure such as naval bases or dockyards. Random facts and tidbits about Rwanda. Rwanda is known as the land of a thousand hills. This nickname reflects the country's stunning and varied landscape characterized by rolling hills and scenic mountains. Rwanda was initially inhabited by the Twa, a pygmy hunter-gatherer people known for their short stature, as they were typically around 5 feet tall. The Hutu people migrated from the region sometime between the 5th and 11th centuries, followed by the Tutsi people beginning in the 14th century. The Rwandan genocide occurred in 1994. Over a period of 100 days, an estimated 800,000 people were killed in a wave of ethnic violence between the Hutu and Tutsi populations. Tensions began during Rwanda's colonial period, during which the ruling Belgians favored the minority Tutsis over the Hutus, which exacerbated the tendency of the few to oppress the many. Rwanda is one of the cleanest and safest countries in Africa. The government has implemented strict security measures, resulting in a low crime rate and a sense of security for both locals and visitors. The government's strict regulations on clean and waste management makes Rwanda one of the cleanest countries in Africa. Rwanda is known for its strong community-based initiatives. Umuganda is a monthly community workday where citizens come together to work on development programs and projects. Rwanda has a growing film industry. Local filmmakers have gained international recognition for their work, highlighting the country's culture and history. Rwandan cuisine is known for its simplicity and use of fresh ingredients. Ugali and grilled meat are popular dishes in the country. The Intore dancers are a cultural troupe representing Rwandan traditions. Their performances showcase traditional music, dance, and acrobatics. Rwanda is known for its traditional basket weaving. These colorful and intricate baskets are made from natural material and are popular souvenirs for visitors. Pop culture. Rwanda has a growing popular music industry influenced by East African, Congolese, and American music. The most popular genres are hip hop and R&B, often blended with raga and dance pop. Popular local artists include the Ben and Nettie, both of whom have won awards, and more recent artists like Miss Chanel, Kitoko, Ritterman, Tom Close, King James, Maine Martin, Knowles, Charlie Nanina, and others. The young adults in Rwanda have been greatly influenced by American clothing. Ripped blue jeans and t-shirts are the norm for the young. However, many still infuse their culture with traditional kitanje outfits. These are gorgeously patterned long gowns worn by women with short sleeves and head coverings in the same design. Some can be seen in isolated sections of the nation, wearing t-shirts and strips of kitenge cloth wrapped around their waist like a sarong and reaching their ankles. When visiting Rwanda, don't do this. Don't bring disposable plastic bags. Don't be disrespectful when talking about the genocide or genocide memorials. And don't ask if a person is Hutu or Tutsi. Do not drink tap water or brush your teeth with it. Don't think you are too good for a moto taxi. Don't just take pictures of the people. Always ask first. Don't wear safari clothes in Kigali. Do not forget to tip your guide, driver, and hotel staff. Don't think you can just show up and see the gorillas. Don't forget your universal plug. Don't worry about being a vegetarian, and please do not disparage the president. Here is a list of the top places to visit in Rwanda. The Volcanoes National Park, where you will find Rwanda gorilla tours, golden monkey trekking, birding, and Virunga mountain hiking. The Akagera National Park, which is the only national park in Rwanda where the big five animals, lions, rhinos, buffaloes, leopards, and elephants can be seen. The Miyunge National Park. This park is known for its numerous chimpanzees. The genocide memorial sites in Kigali and Murambi sites. The Ibigi Waku Cultural Village, which is a replica of a traditional Rwandan village that existed centuries ago. The King's Palace, which is a replica of a traditional king's palace, which gives you a feel of the golden times when there were kingdoms in Rwanda. The Presidential Palace, which is home to the late president of Rwanda, whose death led to the outbreak of the Rwanda genocide. The Ethnographic Museum, which is a museum where Rwandan culture can be understood by viewing various displays such as hunting, cooking, carrying out agriculture, and making traditional clothing. And finally, the Sawate Tea Plantation and the Pufundu Teas Estate, where you may be able to see how teas are harvested and dried. Things that may shock you about Rwanda. Rwanda is the size of the state of Maryland, and it sits on the equator. Plastic bags are illegal in Rwanda. There are 4 official languages listed here. Africa's largest protected wetland is in Rwanda. Approximately 2,500 Americans live in Rwanda. Here is some etiquette to consider while in Rwanda. Direct eye contact can be considered aggressive. When gesturing or beckoning someone to come, place your hand downwards and make a scratching motion with the finger. It is very rude to point at people. Pointing is reserved for dogs. Shaking hands is expected in business. When a man greets a woman, a handshake is appropriate, but wait for the woman to extend her hand first. Otherwise, a bow or a nod is sufficient. Punctuality is valued in business, but deadlines are often not met. Government officials are always punctual. In more casual situations, the people are often late, 30 to 60 minutes, because time is fluid. Personal space tends to be minimal. People talk at less than arm's length apart. Use both hands when giving a gift, but avoid giving expensive gifts. Conversations tend to be indirect. Rwandans talk around the issues. Avoid sarcasm, but good jokes and humor are appreciated. Sports, food, the Rwandan landscape, weather, and even your home country are acceptable topics of discussion. Avoid asking about ethnicity, the war or genocide, politics, or sex. And customer service leaves much to be desired. Thank you for taking the time to hear our presentation. Are there any questions?